boundaries, confidence, self-love, and self-care. When you have these three things, it gives you the ability to be so strong in yourself, but also in your identity, in your authenticity, and no one can shake that and no one can take that from you. Hi divas, it's your girl Emmy here and welcome back to my channel. Before I go any further, you know what to do. Hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because it really helps me out a lot. This video is Find Your Feminine. I think this could be a really cute idea for a series of tapping into your feminine energy, your divine feminine energy, okay? So yeah, let me know in the comments if there's any topics in this genre you want me to hit on, and let's get into this video. Why are we even talking about finding your feminine, right? Tapping into your divine feminine energy, it's all about growing in your self-love and your self-care. When you love yourself and put yourself first to a point where you are untouchable and unfuckwithable, you are a repellent to all things low vibrational. Those continents, they don't meet. Those vibrations, they don't meet. And let me just say a quick disclaimer. This is not about being girly. This is not about wearing skirts or being extra feminine, okay? It's about being in the receiving mode. It's about how you carry yourself. Feminine energy is creation. It's able to manifest by attraction, where masculine energy is able to attract by producing. Feminine energy is abundance. That's why they say give a woman anything and she can multiply it, because we're able to take what we have, take scraps and turn it into a meal. It's not about wearing dresses and being girly and wearing makeup and heels or whatever some people want you to see it as, or what some people might mistake this journey as. But it's really just radiating self-love and embodying self-love. And feminine energy, it's not restricted to how you dress, and it's not restricted to the gender that you were assigned to as well. Now, let's get into divine feminine energy, okay? That divine counterpart. So when we talk about feminine energy, we're talking about the subconscious, right? What we can't see. Iceberg above, visible to land, right? That would be the conscious mind. That would be everything masculine, what you do see, right? How much space you're taking and whatnot. Where subconscious, the feminine energy, would be what's under. Okay, maybe that's a bad analogy. I say this because it's what you don't see, right? And a lot of the times the subconscious is the root and the foundation for a lot of things, right? Feminine energy is empathetic. It's creative. It's intuitive. It attracts things to it. It's the subconscious, what we don't see, okay? Which means if you want to tap into your feminine energy and you want to remain in your feminine energy state, you have to reprogram your subconscious. But if you want to know more about feminine energy, I do have a goddess series on my channel. I can link it in the description. That way you can get more into understanding how different feminine energies play out, whether it's Oshun, Aphrodite, Yamoya. If you want to learn more about dark feminine energy, I do have a video on dark feminine energy, and I also have a new video on Lilith and Sekhmet, who embody more of that dark feminine energy, if that's something you want to learn more about. But that's not the purpose of this video. So divine feminine energy. Divine feminine energy, it's confident in who she is. She takes up space, but not in a masculine way. It's in a way where her aura speaks for her. Your aura is always speaking way before you say any words, okay? It's an energy that knows how to command a room. And I feel like when I say command a room, you might be thinking of more masculine traits, more machismo. Think about a woman who's confident. You notice her and she didn't say a single word. Her shoulders were back, her chin was up, and her head was held high. If you want to start your divine feminine energy, you're gonna need three things to set that foundation. And these are the basis for honestly anything. Because if you don't have these three things, you don't have anything. That's boundaries, that's confidence, that's self-love and self-care. And we're gonna go into those three. When you have these three things, it gives you the ability to be so strong in yourself, but also in your identity, in your authenticity, and no one can shake that and no one can take that from you. Let's go into number one, which is setting boundaries. There's gonna be a few subcategories under boundaries. When it comes to setting boundaries around divine feminine energy, it involves honoring your own needs, your desires, your self-care, while also maintaining healthy relationships and interactions with really just anybody. So here's some tips on how to set boundaries with divine feminine energy. Number one, know yourself. You need to take the time to understand what divine feminine energy means to you and how you can apply it. You want to embody it in your life. And this means really sitting with yourself and understanding what your values are, what your beliefs are, and what your priorities are, and just in general. Not only learning how to cater to your own needs, but also understanding where you are right now in life. You have to understand where you are and where do you want to be. How much of a gap is there, right? And once you understand how much of a gap there is from being who you want to be and who you currently are, that's when you start looking at that gap and figuring out, okay, what is here in this gap that's preventing me from being the person that I want to be? What are the things in this gap preventing me from getting to my higher self, to the divine feminine version of me? How do you get there? What needs to change? Once you know those things, you'll be able to figure out and work backwards what priorities and what boundaries you need to set. You need to identify what you consider acceptable. Once you do that, what is acceptable? You have to understand your expectations with yourself and with others, what your preferences are, and just clear of your personal limits in general. To become the person that you want to be, you will miss out on things. But if you have people-pleasing tendencies, this is gonna be really hard for you to do, to step in, to even have a boundary. Because right now you're a mat. Oh, not even a welcome mat. You're that mat that's collecting mud in the backyard, okay? But the sooner that you realize it's okay to miss out on things, the sooner you realize that people will actually want to be around you more. Because at the end of the day, people prefer things that they can't get access to on a regular. If steak's your favorite meal and you ate steak every day, would it still be your favorite meal? Being consistent is a really big part of setting boundaries, because you have to consistently uphold this new standard that you're setting for your life. You have to constantly uphold these boundaries that you're setting for other people. You have to constantly let people know, no, this is no longer okay for me to participate, accept, acknowledge, whatever the situation may be. And you have to enforce your boundaries even when it gets uncomfortable. And remember, in moments like this, it's an act of self-love. Whether you realize it, whether you feel it at this point of your journey, where you might feel guilt or shame or whatever people-pleasing emotions. But I promise you, through time, you'll start feeling that self-love and that empowerment from saying no. I love saying no. No. I say that because you'll be tempted to go back to your old ways. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll feel like I'm hurting this person's feelings. You'll feel like, oh my God, even though I have no energy and this person asked me to go here because it's their second cousin's fiance's birthday, that I really should go because I care about this person. Therefore, I care about their second cousin fiance's birthday. You never even met the girl. You'll be tempted to go back to your old ways, and I promise you, the more you say no, the easier it'll be. To get there faster, start saying no to things that you really don't care about with your full chest. And that might help with the transition. Another thing about boundaries, just as you expect people to respect your boundaries, you have to also honor the boundaries of the people around you. And be mindful of other people's needs and preferences, okay? Like, don't lose that as well. Like, still have that conscious. What I mean by that is divine feminine energy is not going to nag somebody, right? You're not forcing yourself onto somebody else. You're not forcing an expectation onto somebody else, okay? But instead, you're giving other people the space and you're communicating. You're communicating your needs and you're acknowledging instead of nagging, because nagging comes from, I've asked you 5 times and it's still not happening. Divine feminine would be, I asked you, you're still doing it. I'm going to now have to change or leave this situation. The fuck I look like asking somebody something twice? Regardless, practicing healthy communication is key here. It's key with anything, with any relationship. And it's really key in this feminine journey because it's vocalizing how you feel, it's vocalizing your emotions, right? And feminine energy is emotion. You have to be able to embrace your vulnerability through expressing emotions. That way you can be heard. That's how change happens. People can't read your mind. People aren't going to know exactly what you're feeling and how you're thinking if you're not communicating your needs. That's wounded feminine energy. If you want me to do a video on that, I could. That would actually be a good video. Let me know in the comments. Up next, under boundaries, is trust your intuition. You have an inner wisdom. That is your instinct, your gut feeling, source, your heart, whatever you want to call it. Feminine energy is very intuitive. If something doesn't feel right, if something doesn't align, honor that feeling and set your boundaries accordingly. That's all I gotta say. And with that, reflecting and adjusting is really important with any journey, but along with this, whether it's a monthly, weekly, quarterly, reflect on your boundaries, reflect on the changes that you made, okay? This is where journaling comes in. I will always promote journaling, but reflecting on your boundaries and evaluating if they're serving you, and adjust them as your needs change, as your situations change, your relationships change, you change. Don't get stuck in this is the formula, because there's no formula. It's always going to constantly change. It's always going to be unique to whatever chapter and sub-chapter that you're in. Setting boundaries is so crucial because when you add the feminine energy aspect to it, you're creating supportive environments. And that's gonna not only benefit your own well-being, but also your growth. And this will also help create healthier relationships with other people. Okay, number 2, confidence. Confidence is so crucial, and me being somebody who's struggled with confidence for such a long time, now that I'm here, now that I'm on the other side, when you operate confidence from a divine feminine point of view, you're not looking for approval. As women, we've been conditioned to believe that our validation has to either come from our family or from a man. That alters how you dress, the things that you do, the careers that you choose, how you take up space, different things like this. And this could also lead to not trying new experiences because you're scared to, just not communicating how you feel. Like if somebody makes you feel uncomfortable, you're not gonna say anything just because you've been conditioned that you have to be nice all the time. And with that, I wanna say two things. One, you are the prize. If you have to go out of your way to get somebody's attention, then it's not for you. If somebody is leaving you in the dark of how they feel about you, drop it. Save yourself the heartache. If they wanted to, they would. People who care about you will never put you in the dark, will never make you feel like, I don't know if they really do. If you get that feeling, when your intuition tells you that, drop it. You have to be so confident in yourself that if somebody wants to walk out, you hold the door. Okay? And that can only happen through self-love, through setting boundaries, and having that confidence in yourself. I never want to see you alter yourself to match other people's preferences. Don't let your body dysmorphia or how you see yourself determine the level of confidence that you can radiate. Confidence has nothing to do with how you physically look. It's all about your aura. It's all about your energy. How you feel about yourself will show on the outside. Might sound random, but one thing I think that has done wonders for my confidence is honestly social media. I think having a project, whatever project works for you, is a great way to gain confidence. Because as you watch something grow, as you try different things, as I see my channel grow, right? And I see that I'm gaining subscribers and I'm committed to it, I'm consistent with it, and I see the fruits of my labor, it boosts my confidence. And that could be with anything. If you pick up tennis and you're seeing yourself get better, right? These are things that like build your confidence. Or like, let's say you're learning a new language and now you feel confident enough to speak and talk to other people. Like these are all things that are gonna build your confidence. And I think like having a project is so important. Like whenever you see a woman that you're inspired by, they have things that they're working on. And whenever you see women that honestly you feel bad for, ones that are just sitting around waiting to be chosen, it's the ones that are going out of their way to cater for other people. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with catering for those that you love, but when you become an overextender and a people pleaser, then where is that getting you? Yeah, set goals for yourself. Whether it's a hobby, I think you should have a hobby, but also your physical health. Maybe you're working out, maybe you're taking care of your hair or your skin, any project that you're passionate about. And if you feel like you're too busy to develop a project, are you really too busy, or are you just putting other people and their needs above your own? Tell me, let me know. I want to know. Another thing that I think helps, like let's say if you have big goals, I think another thing that helps is breaking those goals down into smaller goals. I'm trying to like get this channel to like 10K, for example, right? Okay, well, like what can I do to get to 10K? Well, I gotta keep posting videos, okay? So what can I do on a weekly basis? It's film, it's edit, and it's post, right? So breaking those tasks into smaller, more attainable, more achievable tasks are going to get you where you want to be. All right, you got to take action. Taking action is so important. Stepping out of your comfort zone, just embracing new opportunities just to grow and learn. Yeah, I mentioned like the activities and the hobby end, but also like just pushing yourself to solo travel, pushing yourself to go out to eat by yourself, pushing yourself to sit at a bar and like go by yourself. I don't know, take pictures of yourself in public, whatever that one thing that feels like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, like I don't know, just go for it. But do the smallest thing first, right? But these are things that are gonna like boost your confidence. Like that's why the tube girl went so viral so fast, because she had a confidence in herself that people can't help but respect. Just do whatever you gotta do, girl. Do whatever you gotta do to push yourself. Trust me, as somebody who's solo traveled to 6 countries by themselves, nobody gonna push my confidence or knock me down. I can tell you that. Another thing that is great for confidence is practicing self-compassion, having compassion for yourself, just being kind, being gentle, especially when you're in a season of self-doubt, okay? Giving yourself rest, affirming yourself, talking to somebody, maybe a therapist, maybe people you trust, and even just treating yourself like a friend. You are the first friend that you would have, right? Challenging that negative self-talk with positive self-talk, like affirmations. I have a whole video on negative self-talk as well, if you want to check that out. Another thing that is great for confidence is surrounding yourself with people who support you, right? Having role models, right? Having mentors, support groups, whatever that is. Even if you do like a workout class with the same group of people, right? That's a support group. Celebrating your uniqueness, your beauty, taking pictures of yourself. Hello. Take pictures of yourself, full body, when you look good. In your house, take a picture, learn your body, learn yourself, take pictures of yourself in different angles. That will help you like just embrace your body. I love to stand naked in the mirror, and sometimes I dance naked in the mirror. Yeah, I think that is also really good. But yeah, just trust yourself. You can handle any trial and tribulation that's being thrown at you. Confidence is a journey. Up next is number 3. We're just gonna combine self-love and self-care. I kind of touched on some of these topics in confidence. To have self-love and self-care, you need to have self-compassion. Like I said earlier, talk to yourself like you're a friend. Give yourself the same compassion that you would give to somebody else. Be kind to yourself. Give yourself a break. Sometimes we get so caught up in all these things that we want to get done in a day, and sometimes a day to just rot and watch Netflix is good. It's bad when that one day becomes 2 days. So if you can have the restraint to let that one day be one day, and one day to just sleep in or whatever it is, it's okay. Trust me, because you'll always bounce back. But what happens that people mess up on is they make that their routine, right? It's very easy to develop a bad habit and a bad routine. Be mindful of that. Another thing I think is good for self-compassion is treat yourself in a realistic way. For me, treating myself in a realistic way means getting my eyebrows done. I can maintain it myself, but after a certain point, I have to get them done. I don't get pedicures all the time. You know, I try to, do French tips so they last a bit longer, right? And eventually it gets to a point where I have to, right? So there's those things that are realistic that make me feel like I'm treating myself, because I am treating myself, but I'm not going out of the way and breaking the bank, right? Maybe you want to go to a nice place, but you can't afford it. Go for their lunch. Things are always going to be cheaper at lunch and dinner, okay? So there's ways that you can do self-care things without breaking the bank. And trust me, these are things that will make you feel better. Another thing I think is really important for self-care and self-love is connecting with your inner child. I think inner child healing is just so crucial for anything. Just navigating who you are as a person. You have to understand the pain that you went through. And that means healing past traumas. And that also means by healing, you're offering that inner child love. You're being that adult now. You are the adult that you wanted as a child, or right now you're the adult that proved everybody right to that child. Every time somebody said that you're not good enough and now you're living a life that's not good enough. Is that what you want to do for yourself? Have that conversation with little you, right? And really navigate where you are. Is this who you want it to be? Or are you just living a reality that was programmed into you? Give yourself that validation, that tenderness, that compassion, but also connect with the playfulness, the creativeness. Connect with the innocent aspects of yourself. If you were a child that loved going to the beach, go to the beach more. If you were a child that loved soccer and you haven't played soccer in a long time, play soccer. If you were a kid that loved the idea of dress up and doing things like that, try to get into the creative space. Learn how to sew. Do some sort of designing thing. Like, don't let that inner child, those inner things that spark creativity, there's a reason for it. Those areas still exist. It would bring a lot of joy into your life if you incorporated those activities that the inner you liked. It's a great way to heal. It's a great way to find enjoyment. It's a good thing if you feel like you don't know what your purpose, or if you feel a little bit lost. Now, of course, practice self-care. You knew that was coming. But self-care activities that are not limited to just your body, but also your mind, your spirit. So that could be meditation, that could be exercise, journaling, doing your favorite hobby, spending time in nature, whatever that looks like to you. But never forget to listen to your body signals. Like I was saying, if you need a day of rest, let yourself rest, but don't let that day of rest become a week. And find those things that are beneficial for you and make them a non-negotiable. If sewing is something that really makes you happy, make sure you're sewing, I don't know, whatever standard you say, twice a week, twice a month, whatever the situation is. Set those boundaries for yourself, set those schedules, set it. I think another important thing with feminine energy is to have gratitude, expressing appreciation not only for yourself, but the things that you have, the things that you've experienced, the people that you have in your life, and also just like celebrating your achievements. We forget to celebrate our small wins. Those are moments of worthiness, love. Those are moments that attract more moments, right? If I celebrate getting 10 new subscribers in a month, I'll probably get 20 the next month. Putting in that gratitude, that appreciation for those 10 new people who are accepting of my energy is going to make me want to put out more content to show them that I am worthy of their attention, right? And in turn, me going back into the cycle will bring more people into my sphere, into my sphere, and then I want to put out more and better things for those people in my sphere, and then it just keeps going and going and going. That's what gratitude does, right? Because people see when you're enjoying things, and the only way to enjoy the things that you have is by gratitude. The universe will reward gratitude, let me tell you. And there's nothing more feminine than gratitude. Taking a bite of food and just being overwhelmed by the flavor, moving slowly, and you know, feeling the soap on your skin when you shower and put lotion on, right? Like those small tender moments of joy, and I don't want to say pleasure in a sexual way, but like, you know, those moments of I don't know, pleasure. I don't know how else to say it. Yeah, and I guess that brings me to my next point of just like embracing that feminine essence, right? Honoring the uniqueness of your body. Maybe you're really curvy, or maybe you're not. It doesn't matter. Honoring the uniqueness of your physical form, honoring the uniqueness of your tone, honoring the uniqueness of how you express yourself through clothes, how you do your hair, how you communicate with people, how you make people feel, how you listen to people. Do people feel safe with you, right? That way that you express compassion, just moving with authenticity. And when you move with authenticity, you find your voice, you find your tone, you find your style, you find your tribe, you find your interests. These are all things that will come to you the more you put your authentic self out there. We are perfectly imperfect. I hope that you release the need for approval, for recognition, for validation, because nobody can give you that feeling of worthiness. You're not going to get it from anybody if you can't have that for yourself. You will never feel it. Promise you. It'll be fleeting. It'll be an Instagram post where you get that photo, you get the likes, and now it's gone and you have to post another photo to get those likes again. That is what external validation is. It's a constant dopamine loop and search, right? You have to find it for yourself, within yourself. And that can come from positive self-talk, challenging those negative beliefs, right? And empowering yourself with more positive and affirming statements that, you know, delete self-criticism. Just remember, self-love is an ongoing journey, and it requires patience and dedication. Feminine energy is gentle, so be gentle with yourself. You deserve to be loved, be accepted, to receive compassion just for who you are. Radiating divine feminine energy can only come within. I hope this was helpful. Let me know in the comments if this video resonated with you, what stood out, what I missed. I really appreciate you. I grew 500 subscribers in the last month and a half, so now I'm at 3,500. I'm very grateful that I'm growing this community by talking about things that just embrace my vulnerability. And thank you for taking the time to listen and make it to the end if you did. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not. Have a good night.